The Whispering Library Chapter 1. The Forgotten Door. In the quiet town of Ravenbrook, where cobblestone streets twisted like ancient stories, there stood a grand library. Its towering shelves stretched so high that they disappeared into the shadows of the vaulted ceiling. But beneath all the books and wisdom lay a secret, one that only the truly curious could uncover. Emma, a 12-year-old girl with an insatiable hunger for knowledge, had spent every afternoon in the library since she could remember. She had read about lost civilizations, time-traveling explorers, and mysterious creatures that whispered secrets into the wind. But nothing compared to what she was about to discover. One evening, as she traced her fingers along the dusty spines of forgotten tomes, she noticed something odd. A bookcase slightly ajar, revealing a narrow passage behind it. Heart pounding, she glanced around. No one was watching. With one deep breath, she slipped through. The passageway was dark and smelled of old parchment and mystery. At the end of the corridor stood a large wooden door, its carvings swirling like smoke, shifting as if alive. The plaque above it read, "The Whispering Library." Chapter 2. A library unlike any other. Emma pushed the door open, and the room beyond took her breath away. Books floated in midair, their pages flipping as if caught in an unseen breeze. Golden globes of light hovered above, casting a warm glow over endless shelves that spiraled like a maze. The room was alive, whispering, humming, breathing. A deep, melodious voice greeted her. "Ah, a seeker of knowledge. It has been a long time." Emma gasped as a book gently floated down, opening itself in front of her. The pages rearranged their words, forming new sentences before her eyes. Every question has an answer, but only the worthy may ask. Emma reached out, mesmerized. Her fingers trembled slightly as a shiver ran down her spine. The air around her felt charged, as if the very walls were listening. "What do you mean?" she whispered, her heart pounding with anticipation. "This library holds the wisdom of the world, but knowledge must be earned," the voice replied. "You may ask 3 questions, but for each answer, you must complete a trial. Do you accept?" Excitement surged through her. "Yes." Chapter 3. The First Trial. The past. The first book drifted before her, its title shimmering, "The Echo of Time." "To learn from history, you must step inside it," the voice instructed. Before Emma could respond, a vortex of golden light swirled around her, and suddenly, she was no longer in the library. She found herself in an ancient village, where people dressed in robes of a bygone era hurried past her. A nearby boy struggled to carry a bundle of heavy scrolls. "I must get these to the scribe before sunset, or he won't teach me to write," he exclaimed. Emma rushed to help, but halfway there, she noticed a young girl sitting alone, tears glistening on her cheeks. A choice stood before her. Help the boy, securing knowledge for one, or comfort the girl, whose sorrow might hide a deeper story. "Knowledge means nothing if we forget kindness," Emma whispered to herself. She knelt beside the girl. "What's wrong?" The girl wiped her eyes. "I was supposed to deliver a message, but I lost it. Now, my family won't know where to find me." Emma thought fast. "Tell me what it said. Maybe we can rewrite it." Together, they recreated the message, and Emma guided the girl home. As soon as she did, the village blurred, and she was back in the Whispering Library. The book before her glowed, its pages rearranging. Lesson learned: knowledge is power, but compassion gives it purpose. Chapter 4. The Second Trial. The present. The second lesson, the voice continued, is about the choices we make every day. A new book hovered before her, The Balance of Now. This time, Emma found herself in her own school, standing in the hallway. But something felt strange. As she walked past her classmates, she heard their thoughts like whispers in the wind. "I wish someone would notice I'm struggling. If I fail this test, I'll never catch up. I hope no one sees I'm sitting alone." Emma's heart ached. She had never realized how much people hid behind their smiles. A question formed in her mind: if knowledge is power, then what power did she hold now? Then, she saw her best friend, Mia, looking upset. Usually, Emma would have hurried to her next class, but now, she paused. "Hey, Mia. Are you okay?" Mia hesitated, then smiled. "Actually, no. But I think I just needed someone to ask." And just like that, the world faded. Back in the whispering library, the book before her shifted its words. Knowledge shapes the mind, but kindness shapes the world. Emma traced the glowing letters with her fingertips, realizing how much she had changed. It wasn't just about knowing facts or answering questions, it was about seeing people, understanding their struggles, and choosing to make a difference. She had always thought wisdom came from books, but now she understood, true wisdom came from how she used what she learned. Chapter 5, The Final Trial, The Future. Your final lesson is about the future, the voice said. And the choices you leave behind. The book before her read, The Seeds of Tomorrow. Emma found herself in a future version of Ravenbrook, its streets brighter, cleaner, filled with laughter. She was older, standing inside the library, not as a visitor, but as its caretaker. Children gathered around as she handed them books. "Every story holds a lesson," she told them. "What will you do with yours?" The scene melted away, and Emma returned to the whispering library. The final book glowed, its words changing one last time. True knowledge is not just learned. It is shared. Chapter 6, The Keeper of Stories. You have passed the trials, the voice said. What will you do with what you have learned? Emma smiled. I will share it. As she stepped back through the hidden door, the library seemed to breathe in relief, as if it had been waiting for someone like her all along. From that day forward, Emma was not just a seeker of knowledge. She was a keeper of stories, a guardian of wisdom, and a whisperer of truth. Every afternoon, she shared what she learned with younger children, telling them magical tales that held deep lessons. She started a book club at school, encouraging others to explore and discuss new ideas. And whenever she saw someone in need, she remembered that true knowledge wasn't just in books, it was in the way she used it to help others. And in the quiet corners of the library, she swore she could still hear the books whisper, pass it on. Moral of the story, open book knowledge is valuable, but kindness gives it meaning. Open book paying attention to the present shapes the future. Open book the best stories are the ones we share. And so, Emma carried the lessons of the whispering library with her always. For wisdom is not just knowing, it is doing.